7:30 away.
7:30.
That's a reminder. Friday.
Because they're out of school.
All right, I'd like to welcome everybody to the first meeting of the evening, the organizational meeting. So if you were here last month, I was selected as President Pro Tem, since we're going to do that in this meeting. So the first item is to, well, I guess first let me introduce, for those of you that don't know, Dr. Jack Dawson and Mr. Tyler Bates down there, two new board members. So this time, Mario, if you would call the roll.
Tyler Bates. Here. Jerry Dawson.
Present.
Elizabeth Johnson.
Here.
Terry Lally.
Here.
Brian Bagwell.
Here. So we'll start off with the treasurer, or did you guys have somebody that you wanted to hold the Bible for the oath?
Whoever's.
Well, Mr. Nero is going to read the oath to new, so if you... No, we're going to do it together.
Just don't say I do it.
You've been selected.
What?
I knew he'd get you up there.
These, you know, one time we worked with
It's critical, Chris.
I state your name.
I, Tyler Bates. I, Jack Dawson.
Do solemnly swear
Do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge my duties
and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge my duties
as a member of the Board of Education
as a member of the Board of Education
and for the said South Range Local School District,
and for the said South Range Local School District,
Mahoney County, Ohio,
Mahoney County, Ohio,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
in accordance with the laws now in effect,
in accordance with the laws now in effect,
and hereafter to be enacted
and hereafter to be enacted
during my continuance in said office,
during my continuance in said office,
and until my successor is chosen and qualified.
and my successor is chosen and qualified. Thanks, Chris.
At this time, we're going to do the election for a president, so we just need a nomination to open up, or, I'm sorry, a motion to open up nominations.
I motion. Second.
Terry moves. And Elizabeth seconds. And at this time, we are opening nominations for president.
I nominate Brian Bagwell.
I'd like the second.
Third. Okay, are there any other nominations? If there's none, we just need a, let's see. We need a motion to close.
I move.
Elizabeth moves to close. We need a second. Second. Jack seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So with a single nomination, there's a unanimous ballot for Mr. Bagwell. We need to go through and read the roll for votes, please.
Tyler Bates.
Can you just
Say yes or no?
Yes.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Jack Dawson.
Yes.
Elizabeth Johnson.
Yes.
Terry Lally.
Yes.
Brian Bagwell.
yes. With that, we just need a motion to appoint Mr. Bagwell.
Motion.
I'll
Jack
second.
moves. Terry seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And that carries. President.
I state your name, do solemnly swear
I, Brian Bagwell, do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and I will faithfully and impartially discharge my duties
and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge my duties
as President of the Board
as President of the Board
in and for the said South Range Local School District,
in and for the said South Range Local School District,
Mahoning County, Ohio,
Mahoning County, Ohio,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
and in accordance with the laws now in effect,
and in accordance with the laws now in effect,
and hereafter to be enacted
and hereafter to be enacted
during my continuance in said office,
during my continuance in said office,
until my successor is chosen and qualified.
and until my successor is chosen and qualified. Okay, so this time we just need to have a motion to open up nominations for vice president. Elizabeth moves, and a second.
I'll second.
Terry seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, nominations are now open for vice president.
I nominate Terry Lowe.
This is Lally
I'll second.
Johnson. And if there's no others, we just need a motion to close nominations.
I move.
Elizabeth moves. A second to close.
I second.
Jack seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, nominations are closed. Seeing as there a single nomination, we're gonna cast a unanimous ballot for Mrs. Lally. And Mr. Mayor, you call the roll for that?
Tyler Bates,
Yes.
Jack Dawson,
Yes.
Elizabeth Johnson,
Yes.
Terry Lally,
Yes.
Brian Bagwell.
Yes. And at this point, we just need a motion to appoint Mrs. Lally as the board vice president. Jack moves.
Second.
Elizabeth seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That carries. So, that's your turn.
I state your name, do solemnly swear
I, Terry Lally, do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge my duties
and that I will faithfully and partially discharge my duties
as Vice President of the Board
as Vice President of the Board
in and for the said South Range Local School District,
in and for said the South Range Local School District,
Mahoning County, Ohio,
Mahoning County, Ohio,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
and in accordance with the laws now in effect,
and in accordance with the laws now in effect,
and hereafter to be enacted
and hereafter to be enacted
during my continuance in said office,
during my continuance in said office,
and until my successor is chosen and qualified.
and until my successor is chosen and qualified.
Okay, with that, I think we move to the consent agenda, if you want to just go through those items.
Yeah, A is just it's the same rate of pay. I sent you guys the link to the fact sheet on it. That's 100.5 per meeting up to 12, and then kids also get paid for the all school boards meeting at the ESC. The second one's just staff just funds for you guys to be for expenses if you guys would go to a capital conference, stuff like that. If you guys would decide to get on. We've been a part of OSBA since for quite a few years. There's membership dues, and legal assistance funds. Liability and property and fleet insurance, we usually approve that in June it runs like this year from July 1 to June 30th. We currently use SORSA, just allowing to look into those different insurance companies. President Pro Temp, if I happen not to be at the board meeting, just authorize you guys to appoint one. Regular date meeting for 2024 will be the third Wednesday, 6 p.m. administrative mileage, just,
You're good.
Packard.
Motion to approve the South Orange Board of Education to approve administrative mileage at the rate set by the IRS for travel and school district business conducted by school personnel and board members who use their own vehicles. Next, we have motion to approve, our board to appoint those 2 district compliance officers for Title IX investigations. This is the formal, there is an informal process, but this is the formal Title IX compliance officers. Next, motion to approve that we appoint one of us to be the legislative liaison and another board member to be the student achievement liaison. So for that, I think we were talking, Liz, continuing with the student achievement liaison, and if Mr. Tyler Bates would be the legislative liaison.
I can do that.
For J, motion to approve, the Board of Education to approve many authorizations. The treasurer is authorized to secure advances from the county auditor. Looking at number 2, the treasurer is authorized to invest inactive funds whenever they are available. Number 3, the superintendent and treasurer authorized to purchase services for architects, attorneys, engineers, and other professional consultants such as OSBA, Neola, BASA, and we listed a host of architects and attorneys. Looking at number 4, the superintendent is the designated purchasing agent for the school district. And number 5, authorizing the superintendent on behalf of the board to accept resignations which have been submitted by employees during times when the board is not in session, subject to ratification by the board, provided however that upon ratification of the board, such resignation shall be deemed effective. At number 6, authorizing the superintendent during periods when the board is not in session to make offers of employment to candidates, whether teaching or not teaching. Number 7, the treasurer is authorized to pay all bills within the limits of the appropriations as bills are received and when the merchandise service has been received in good condition and in a timely manner. Number 8, the treasurer is authorized to borrow such funds as may be necessary to meet expenses of the district. Number 9, treasurer is empowered to sign all paychecks. He's the only one that signs the paychecks around here. Number 10, the school district shall continue to participate in state and federal programs in which it is now participating. The board will accept and use federal funds distributed by ODE, which is now the Department of Education and Workforce, in keeping with the district's consolidated application. These funds will be used according to the federal and state guidelines as we get those appropriated and so forth. The superintendent is authorized to approve school district participation in other government programs, community programs, or privately sponsored programs as may be necessary or useful to the pupil, staff, or other legitimate concerns of the board. Number 11, the superintendent is authorized to approve the attendance of school employees, the treasurer, and his own attendance at professional meetings. Number 12, the board authorizes the superintendent or treasurer to request and use services of either or both of these management services, which is the Office of School Management Assistance of the State Department of Education, the Management Advisory Service of the Office of Keith Faber. Number 13, the superintendent is authorized to represent, speak for, and vote on behalf of the board and consortia in which it participates, including Access, OSBA, NEA, and other organizations we affiliate. Number 14, the superintendent is the designee of the board for appeals of suspensions of pupils by a principal, so if a student gets suspended, they appeal to me. Number 15, administrative dues and fees incurred in other personal licensure which are specific to the employment of our district shall be paid by the Board of Education. Number 16, the treasurer will manage the currently established petty cash accounts in accordance with our board policy. And number 17, declares as a matter of policy that purchasing coffee, meals, refreshments, and other amenities for officers, guests, and employees furthers a public function as long as they're provided in conjunction with a legitimate public activity.
Okay.
All that?
So were there any questions on any of those items? I know it's a lot to kind of digest, but these are all just, regular yearly housekeeping things we renew every year, make sure we have our attorneys and architects all in line and have them approved on board, so if the time comes, we have them there to use. So if anybody had any specific questions or concerns, if not, we could do one motion to approve all of those consent agenda items. Elizabeth moves. And then a second to approve those.
I'll second.
Tyler seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And so those consent agenda items pass. And with that, that brings us to the end of the first meeting tonight. If we could just have a motion to adjourn this one, we'll take a short break and then reconvene for round two.
I'll move.
Second. Terry moves, Jack seconds, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we will see you shortly, about 10 minutes.
Yeah. How are you? Good. You guys had it on now, the current picture. Running around. How do you? Dean, you were here. Let me stop. You had to see how the meeting was Monday.
Amen. We have been,
Oh,
preparing around, the last month around.
Elizabeth Johnson.
Here.
Terry Louds.
Here.
Brian Bagwell.
Here. First, we're gonna observe a short moment of silence and then follow that with the pledge, so. We'll just bow your head. Okay, now if you stand for the pledge, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So the first item is to approve the agenda. Were there any changes or additions that anybody would like to make to the agenda for this evening? If there's none, we just need a motion to approve the agenda. Jack moves, and then a second.
Second.
Elizabeth seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And that approves the agenda. So item number 1 would be public participation for items on the agenda, so if there's nobody, we'll just go to item number 2. And that takes us to Mr. Zapolnik for his communications.
Yeah, well, welcome, Mr. Bates and Dr. Dawson to the Board of Education. We're very excited to have you on. As a reminder, the new board member orientation and refresher is January 24th at the ESC at 5:30. I registered Mr. Bagwell, Mr. Nero, Jack, and Tyler, and myself to attend. And with that being said, January is Board of Education Recognition Month, so thank you on behalf of us and the Mahoning County Technical Career Center. They have students that created cookies for us, for you guys, and the partnership that we have. So please, on your way out, be sure to grab a cookie, and anybody in the audience want a cookie. But no, thank you for everything. I plan to celebrate our Board of Education once a week on social media. So check out social media and how creative I can get with that. Next, I would like to celebrate the following individuals from our high school who obtained the highest rank in Scouts, the Eagle Scout Award. Nick Eusis and Nathan Engel both worked. Nick worked on a project in Coy Park, and Nathan worked on benches in Target. So, huge accomplishment, as we were just talking. I'm very excited. I know Mr. Rowan's excited as well. We talked about that. Next, congratulations to the hard work of our 3rd grade teachers and students. Our fall 3rd grade reading performance indicates around 79% of our students are at or above. Recent number that I saw was 83% are at or above proficiency on a fall assessment that they'll take again here in a few months. This is the highest fall score in the history of our elementary school. You know, our Raider Way goal of student performance, it's clear our teachers are communicating, collaborating, and the kids are really working hard. We are number 1 in the county with that current score. Continuing the celebration, special shout out to 3 students selected for OMEA District 5 Honors Jazz Band, Cameron Ward, Elena Dupont, and Olivia Lesky, for representing us on Jazz Band District 5. They had to learn music on their own, submit an audition video, and we're just super proud of their hard work for them to get picked over the whole county. They actually have a rehearsal January 18th, and then they need to be out of school Friday the 26th to rehearse for a Lakeview competition. Also, speaking of celebrations, Mr. Rowan and I, a special shout out to Mr. Rowan, thank you for your help. We're seeking to first locate and then affix championship signs around our school district boundaries for football, for baseball, and for dual wrestling. I know Mr. Rowan and I have been working with municipal signs to create a design that is going to be doable. So we appreciate their hard work. And is it Gene at Municipal Signs? Next, we had one family notify us that they're interested in hosting the superintendent and a few board members for a home visit. Going back to when I first came on, I am real big on communication, and a home visit for us to go and learn from their point of view how they think the district is doing and so forth. So I'll be reaching out to that family. I know they identified in February, a day in February would be good for us to go and learn from them. So I'll be reaching out to you, see who would be interested, thinking maybe 2 of us will go. In the January Raider review, the newsletter that I'll put out, I'm going to see if other families are interested. I had many people reach out to me and I said, I'm gonna do another survey. And this is gonna connect within the summer. I plan on doing meet me at the track, like a Wednesday, Wellness Wednesday thing at the track, and for families if they wanted to walk like 8 or 9 in the morning. So very excited about that. Last, our team has had a very productive communication and collaboration with various stakeholders pursuing career technical education here on the campus of South Range. So our kids staying here and getting some career technical education at the high school and the middle school pathways. We're looking at 4 different pathways, 4 opportunities for middle school students, and then a whole pathway at the high school that I'm very, very excited to collaborate with Mrs. Pettit and Mr. Zolik and Mr. Rowe and Mrs. Rankin to really work with Mahoney County as well as some other stakeholders that can secure us funds for a lasting impact of this opportunity for kids. I think that's it.
Thank you. So with that, we'll move on to the consent agenda. The first item being the minutes from the December 13th meeting. Are there any changes that anybody saw? So if there's none, we'll kick it over to Mr. Nero for the treasurer report.
You were provided with a December financial report, so over the last few weeks, we've been working on year-end stuff, got the 1099s, W-2s out. That handled a lot of our year-end stuff, so unless you guys have any other questions, they completed our audit. They're working on the final draft. I think I emailed you guys a draft report, so that if you guys want to do an audit extra conference, let me know. Otherwise, I'll tell them that if it's good to go, they'll start the process to get it released. So there's no issues found. It was a clean audit. So anybody have any questions on the financial reports?
And then motion to approve the following resolution regarding the administration of paper pencil 3rd grade assessments beginning the 24-25 school year for English language arts as per Senate Bill 216. This has been a consistent, last several years, a consistent process that we've done. Continue with D, motion to approve the following classified hire, and a special shout out to Dean and his crew on bringing in Mr. John Kutris as a substitute itinerant district custodian effective January 3rd at $20 an hour. Motion to approve the following certified resignation. Mrs. Mary A., intervention specialist at the middle school, effective July 1, 2024. Motion to approve the following certified unpaid leave. This is DeCivio from January 13th until April 8th. This is a correction. Motion to approve the correction of the rate of pay of the following hire. We hired this individual at $11 an hour, but we offered $13 an hour, and that was just a typo, in which it should have been 13. So John Sandsma, who's been doing a great job, at $13 an hour. Motion to approve the following supplemental hires for this school year, and that is Chris Herubin, assistant girls track coach, and Drew Farron, assistant softball coach at those percentages. Motion to approve the following substitute hiring for the school year, and that's Damascus Fotu. He actually is helping out soon for substitute aid as well as any type of substitute aid position, study hall and so forth. Looking at J, motion to approve the following support staff hires for this year, and that's Laura Dirch, face painting and makeup for the winter Lion King. When she did the performance, she did the makeup as well, so we have to compensate her for that. That's it.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions on consent agenda items? If there was none, we could take a motion to approve all those.
Move.
Tyler moves.
I'll second.
Paige carried. That will take us to the regular agenda items.
Yeah, motion to discuss next year, 24-25 South Range Local School District school calendar. So per policy 8210, we, at least 30 days prior to adopting a school calendar, the board will hold a hearing on the calendar addressing topics that include, or but are not limited to, the total number of hours, length of the school day, beginning date and end date. So we put it on the agenda now, we can talk about it, I can answer any questions. I can talk about the process that was involved, collaborating with our team, and Mrs. Pettit and her team, and just a great communication to go through this process. But we talk about it now, and then it would be open for 30 days, and then we would actually put it on to be approved in February 28th at that board meeting. So this total number of hours, you can see there over 1,111 hours. Length of the school day is 6.5 hours. School would start August 19th and end May 29th, so a few days after Memorial Day. Is that Memorial Day? Yes, Memorial Day. So we took a lot of communication from, Mr. Rowan took a lot of time with me, and I'm forever grateful, walking me around the Canfield Fair, which I don't know if you've attended, but it's a little large, right? And I think it was like 4 to 5 hours, and I was just really blown away with the amount of families. Steve kept telling me, and Mr. Matus kept saying, a lot of our families are involved. I just didn't realize the amount of families that were involved at the fair. So I talked to a lot of families saying how that time is very important for the kids, and even the day, like Animal Cleanup Day, is super important, but we're typically in school that day. So taking a lot of in consideration, that Tuesday after Labor Day would be a professional development day for teachers. So we would get them in the classrooms and get lessons prepared. Students would start that Wednesday then with kindergarten, and we worked with Mr. Matus. It doesn't mess up anything with kindergarten screening and that whole process. So very excited about that opportunity. And then instead of having a lot of professional development in the beginning of the school year, sometimes that's great, but then school happens and it's like we need time throughout the year to stop and refresh with new math curriculum and different resources that when kids come and parents walk away, now it's November, it's like, oh man, I could really use, I want to learn more about this topic. So with this calendar, we were able to use PD days throughout the year as compared to all 6 in the beginning of the year. So just looking at the current hours, actually we gained student instruction time, which was one point of view that a lot of teachers wanted. We asked teachers to provide their input on several options. So this was the option that the overwhelming majority of the teachers voted for as well.
Are you able to get us an actual calendar so we can see
Yep,
days
yeah.
off and everything?
So it's in the shared drive. I actually put the top 2 options, and then they actually went back and voted on the top 2 options. It's option number 2.
Option number
Yep, option number 2.
So if there's no other questions, I'll just look for a motion to start the discussions with the calendar, not to approve the calendar, just to start the discussions.
I'll move.
Liz moves and Jack seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That carries.
Next is to approve the following new replacement or revised policies. So in December, we had to have a first read. These were the policies that Neola accidentally just left off that whole list. So then we had to put on a first read in December, and now we're approving since we had a first read in December. So a lot of these changes were simply, it's a ODE and it's Department of Education Workforce. It's a lot of language, a lot of scratch offs and so forth. And in our shared drive, I uploaded those policies so you can see those changes.
Yeah, I think it looked like a lot of it was just changing ODE to do. Again. So we just need a motion to approve that policy adoption. Jack moves.
I'll second.
Terry seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That carries. Then we have a student overnight trip.
Yeah, this is a motion to approve the robotics club trip to the Marion County Fairgrounds in Marion, Ohio for their state competition. Students will leave mid-afternoon on Friday, March 8th, with the competition starting on Saturday. Students would spend Friday one night overnight and then return to the district Saturday evening. We have 7 total students attending, 5 boys and 2 girls, and the funding source is their own student fundraising.
Okay. Any questions for that trip? With that, we just need a motion to approve.
I'll move.
Terry
Second.
moves. Elizabeth seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. I think that wraps up the agenda items. With that, we would open up the floor for public participation for non-agenda items. If there is none, we can move to the next item. We just approved the regularly scheduled board meetings. And with that, we're gonna have to make a change for February due to scheduling conflict. So does anybody have an issue moving that February meeting to February 28th? If that works for everybody, let's go ahead and move that February meeting, February 28th at 6 p.m. right here in the library.
I'll move. Second.
And that wraps it up, so, yeah, so motion adjourned, we have Terry moves and Elizabeth seconds, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Alright, 6:43, Maria. Thank you.